Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A new development sends Sloan into a fear while Eric tracks her credit card bill to Leo, Indiana. The DiMera living room. Nicole notes commodity intriguing in The Spectator. Johnny and Chanel join her and EJ to show them the marriage gift they just entered from Allie. Nicole leaves to take care of commodity, leaving EJ to present his own marriage gift. Johnny opens a check with a lot of depths. EJ is happy to help with their charges. He also offers Johnny a job at DiMera. Despite Abe's disapprobation, Paulina comes to her office upon getting out of insulation. The first item on her docket is to meet with her district attorney. At The Spectator, Leo sits with his bases propped on an office. He looks at the laptop in his stage further Chicago P.DS off-screen Upstead status update. Sloan calls Leo at The Spectator for a status update on Eric's operation as a shooter. Leo promises to work on it. He hangs up as Chad enters the office. When Chad asks how Leo's Lady Whistleblower column is coming on, Leo notes he could use some prints. Their regular shooter has been loosening, but Eric Brady is really good. Chad promises to keep him in mind, but first, they need to fill a journalist vacancy. Chad asks if Leo's interested. Leo can't abandon his pious gossip compendiums. Plus, he'd no way attend those snooze-fest megacity council meetings. Eric mopes outside the Salem Inn with Sloan's credit card bill. Since there are so numerous charges to the hostel on it, he deduces she's having an affair. Eric calls the credit card company with questions. Announcement at home with Jude. Sloan gets an alert on her phone. Scarifying, she calls Melinda to tell her Dimitri is about to be released from maximum security captivity. He knows about Jude. What if he talks? On the phone at home, Sloan gapes while on the phone further how to watch British cleaner Emmerdale at DiMera Enterprises. Johnny thanks his father for his generous offer, but commercial life is ent for him. Chanel backs up her hubby, who marches to the beat of his own barrel. EJ states it's a standing offer if Johnny ever changes his mind. As the newlyweds leave to apartment quest, Paulina calls to summon EJ to her office. When EJ meets with Paulina, she rips into him for his dumpster fire of a press conference and for cutting a squeeze. Deal with Stefan. His unilateral decision-making stops now. He retorts by reminding her she exposed the public to radiation when she left insulation. In fact, he's been hearing that the good people of Salem have been wishing for the good old days of the other Mayor Carver. The stable bone. Nicole shafts at Chad in the Spectator office. Announcement further, Ariane Zucker reveals final airdate. Nicole comes to the Spectator to ask Chad about the journalist job she saw in the paper. She talks up her transmittable chops, but she has little experience in print media and doesn't have any jotting samples. Off to a great launch, Chad quips. Still, he knows she has further experience than he, Xander, or Leo had when they started. Plus, the newsroom is a little manly heavy. But, for the sake of journalistic integrity, she can't write anything that involves EJ. She excitedly hugs him. Sloan calls Leo, who's now in his Salem Inn room. She's coming over. After Leo hangs up, he opens the door to a confused Eric. Eric looks around the room, realizing he was wrong about Sloan having an affair. When Sloan bangs on the door, Leo tries to discreetly get relief of her, but she needs to talk to him about Dimitri getting released. She barges into the room, shocked to see Eric. Sloan stands in a Salem Inn doorway. She gapes open-mouthed across the room at Eric, who holds a bill. Leo observes guardedly, watch days on Peacock, $5.99 by NOW. Eric asks why she's busting their family to pay for Leo's room. She acts oblivious, so he shows her the credit card bill. Sloan walls before expressing mock sympathy for Leo when she could get Dimitri out of captivity. He'd no job or plutocrat. She was trying to get him back on his bases. Leo regales Eric with tales of doing straight people effects to try and lift his depression. Eric points out Leo has a job now, so why is she still giving him plutocrat? Leo says he's a shopaholic and apologizes for taking advantage. He promises to pay Sloan back. She melodramatically forgives him, and they clinch. Eric is relatively vended, but declares their situation over. Further recently pro basketball star to DWTS? Announcement at home, EJ harangues about Paulina before asking about Nicole's mysterious spin. She tells him that Chad hired her as a journalist. He questions her conflict of interest, considering she's wedded to Thed.A. and is so close to DiMera Enterprises. Still, he supports her wholeheartedly. He indeed pitches her a story Mayor Price's unconscionable jest. During the Smith Island snowstorm. After giving a dubious Nicole the hard sell, he steps out to take a call. Nicole calls Chad to pitch EJ's story idea. Further biggest Emmy nom shock for Emily O'Brien as Abe brings Paulina home, she rants about EJ suggesting Abe should be mayor again. Latterly, they eat popcorn while watching television. He tells her he saw Chanel and Johnny when they were apartment stalking. She asks if they sounded okay, not sleepy or anything. He reports they sounded fine. After checking out another apartment, Chanel feels suddenly tired. It's hard to feel agitated about anything when all she wants is to sleep. As they walk through the square, Chanel uneasily yawns. Eric's mistake, Paulina's fury, Nicole's job request, newlyweds apartment hunting days of our lives spoilers for Friday, April 26th indicate that Eric Brady, Greg Vaughn, will get the wrong idea when he finds Leo Stark, Greg Rickard, is a room paid for by his woman. Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, is furious over EJ DiMera's, Dan Feuerigel, abuse of power. Nicole Walker, Ariane Zucker, asks Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, for a job. Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, and Chanel Dupree, Raven Bowens, need to find their own place ASAP. Plutocrat Straits lead Eric Brady jumping to conclusions. Days of Our Life spoilers reveal that Eric is still stressing over Plutocrat Straits that Sloan Peterson, Jessica Surfety, seems to want to sweep under the hairpiece. Still, Eric has discovered that Sloan is paying for a room at the Salem Inn and incontinently assumes Sloan is having an affair. It goes from bad to worse when Eric finds Leo there. Leo is by far not Sloan's type, nor is she his, so why is Sloan covering Leo's living charges? Little does Eric know that this is far more important than an affair. After all, Leo is helping to cover up that Jude Brady is Eric's natural son with Nicole. Eric isn't the stylish operative, but will he discover the verity about his son? Can Leo spin a satisfying taradiddle to cover this? DOOL spoilers. Paulina Price is furious with EJ DiMera. Paulina hired EJ to be the DA because she inaptly allowed he'd do his job. Still, it appears that all he has done is cover his family rather. First, EJ tries to railroad an innocent teen for his stepdaughter's overdose, and also he gives his family a poke on the wrist for running through medicines through his eatery. Days of Our Lives spoilers. Eric's mistake, Paulina's fury, Nicole's job request, newlyweds apartment hunting. Stephen DiMera, Brandon Barish, has been released after doing Clyde Weston's, James Reed, bidding and EJ inked off on it. Paulina cannot believe he abused his power like this. Also again, how is that any different than Paulina taking a snowplow to Smith Island while exposing everyone to her radioactive tone? Days of Our Lives spoilers. Nicole Walker needs a job. Nicole allowed. She'd be raising her son now, but rather, he's with Sloan, who just happened to have stolen him. Nicole doesn't want to work for Basic Black or DiMera Enterprises still. A job as a reporter would be a fresh change of decor. Will Chad give Nicole a job at The Spectator? Johnny and Chanel are just about fed up with all of the interruptions they've had since they got married. It's clearly hard to have any sequestration in the DiMera mansion with Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, hanging out with Kristen DiMera, Stacey Hayduke, and children running around. Can Johnny and Chanel get a little bit of sequestration by moving into their own place?